Turning to his rearview feed, he watched with a contagious grimace as pylons and lumps of ferrocrete gave way before an ascending monolith. It was a pyramid, black as deep space, and it was rising. Rock and ice crumbling from its sleek geometric sides. The rubble of Habdome Gamma gave, and impossibly, it continued to climb. Gravity just another force it had elected to disregard. Drax hit the accelerator for all it was worth. Only something huge could be getting so much further behind him, and yet grow no smaller. Small arms fire and hot blasts of las and plasma deflected off its monolithic hull and, as though aligning itself to the turnings of the cosmos, the pyramid turned slowly about its vertical axis. And then it was as if the world broke in two. The pyramid split down the center, the picked feed dissolving into static as a golden brilliance roared through the cracks, like the birth of galaxies. A shockwave thumped through the moon's crust, tossing aside mighty space marines like spent cartridges from a magazine. A kilometer away, even the Chimera jumped like water in a hot pan. With a curse, Drax held it steady. The picked feed was clearing up, capturing a ring of devastation around the opening pyramid. There was a being inside it, bound in chains of stellar matter, as though caged within the heart of a star. Except it wasn't. Drax watched as the Earth fell away, a vast canyon that tracked, to the precise degree, the pyramid's rotation and the eyeline of that shackled entity. Where its gaze fell, rhinos and predators were flipped into the air and torn open. Infantry, consumed by withering waves of fire. Drax couldn't believe what he saw, but he couldn't look away. As he watched, a string of meteors materialized out of the sky, hanging like beads on a necklace before they spontaneously ignited, hyper-accelerated, and hammered through the Space Marine advance in huge explosions of ice and fire. No, Drax thought, as the pyramid continued to turn, that arc of devastation coming inexorably towards him, like an asteroid destined to cross the orbit of a sun. This being had brought the star into the cage with it. "Try it!" Drax roared at the screen. It heard him, he knew. He could feel it, just as he had felt its first stirrings from within his cell. "Come on, come get some." It turned full face. And then Drax really did feel it, the full epical malevolence of the Catan. The ignition spluttered, the lights flickered and failed, and Drax found that he couldn't move, not even to put his fingers to the ignition keys. He was a child, left in his crib of cold leather and plasteel by a cruel star god. It saw him, but his eyes couldn't begin to fathom it, and he saw only darkness. Drax might have wept then, but it didn't matter. The transcendent shard of the Khitan took the time to study him. Not because Drax was special. He was not. It took the time because it could, because time ran to its command. The instant stretched, to an infinity if the Khitan had so willed, but time enough for Drax to comprehend. The universe didn't love him. The Emperor would never know his name. Only this entity, this god of ancient stars, would remember. And in the second that followed, the Chimera flipped onto its back, its belly splitting open. Air, heat, and Drax himself were ripped through the hull and out onto the surface of the moon. He floated, falling so slowly. The world was black and silent. It was cold, and the Khitan looked away.